Morena, it's day 8, losing weight with Nate. Just in the car, just before 8 o'clock. About to head to the gym for a shoulder workout. Haven't done shoulder in a long time, so I don't have a program to follow on my app, so I'm just doing it via notes, tracking it, and today's probably just going to be a bit of a quick workout, sorry. Got to do something shortly after this. One thing that I've noticed is that in terms of the daily routine, wanting to get up a little bit earlier, like it's just before 8 now, but I always set my alarm for sort of 6:30 and end up just snoozing and sleeping in. But I really want to get up a little bit earlier so I can get this done sooner. It's also really hard to, sometimes when you sit, like when I was sitting in front of the computer looking at some of the things that I plan to do today, it's very easy just to sit around and procrastinate and kind of not really want to do anything. And I guess that's the point of these daily videos, right? Is that you get like an insight into sort of the daily struggles that, it's not always pretty. It's rarely ever pretty. It's usually pretty hard. And when you look at people's highlight reels, you kind of see the best of the best. They've cherry picked all of the moments. Sometimes people are a bit more personable and they sort of show you their struggles in real time. So that's still the original intention of this, is to give you a daily brief look into what it's like for somebody who's trying to lose weight and trying to improve their life. One of the biggest things, of course, is sort of the daily discipline, daily routine, and staying accountable, taking action. If you say you're going to do something, to do it. One thing that I need to improve is if I have the intention to wake up early, then I just need to get up early. Like I do some things okay, like I'll get up, I'll have a cold shower to wake myself up, but I really just need to get out of bed when I say I want to get out of bed, because if I had gotten out of bed at 6:30, I would have been done by now, would be home, would be doing something else, be a lot more productive. But now, as it is, it's almost 8 o'clock and I need to basically shoot off, do a really quick workout and get home and then continue with the day. Got to drive out to the shore to drop a laptop off. Shop opens at 9:30, so that's in an hour and a half, and it's like a 30-40 minute drive. It's probably, I haven't checked the traffic at the moment, but this is like the worst time probably to get over the shore. So I need to go quickly, come back and shoot off. So I better go do that now. I'll touch base later in the day or after the workout. Cheers. Kia ora. Workout done. It's just 8:38, so it was a nice little sort of 30-minute workout. Probably rushed it just a little bit. There's only 5 exercises compared to I normally do 6, but there's only 5 shorter ones. I think I felt pretty good for the most part. Was able to do pretty much all of the stuff, maybe a little bit more than last time, which is kind of surprising because I haven't done one since like May. It's now July, so I guess that's a good sign. But yeah, gonna shoot off home, have some breakfast, have something to eat, some protein, and then I've got to start the day. Got a few things to do. Sweet. See you later. Kia ora, 8 here. So this is probably like a midday update. It's sort of just past lunch. We just got back from the shore and I had to do some stuff for my fiance. She's having some laptop problems, so we went to a shop and then we picked up some lunch. And we got some Chinese takeaways, some egg foo young, chips, fried rice, and then I also got some sushi from Bruce Lee sushi, and it started, of course, I started to reflect on the whole weight loss thing and the importance of diet. And I think one thing that I have always kind of known and struggled with, I suppose, is just from a practical sense. Like, I've had meal plans, I've met with nutritionists multiple times. I have a nutritionist now who I'm kind of seeing on a monthly basis. She's given me, you know, a fantastic meal plan, and there's a lot of good stuff in that I still continue to use to this day, like snacks and validation on, you know, the breakfast that I was having was pretty good. I was having a very heavy breakfast before. I used to have like three to four bits of toast with a couple of eggs, baked beans. It was like a very carb heavy, fat heavy with some protein kind of meal, and I always felt quite sluggish after that. So moving to, you know, wheat bix, which is full of fiber and some carbs, I think, and it's actually got a bit of protein. That's like a really good breakfast. It's simple, it's easy to maintain, snacks are easy. I think the only thing that I always get tripped up on is like lunch and dinner, because I don't cook, so I kind of rely on my fiance to do the cooking, and when she doesn't have time to cook or she doesn't want to cook, then we opt for getting takeaways. We try to choose healthy takeaways, of course, but I think at the end of the day, sooner or later, I'm going to have to come to terms with the fact that, you know, the best chance to get real control of this is just to start cooking my own meals exactly the way that I want them. You know, I used to make myself like omelette, 2 eggs or something, 2 to 3 eggs omelette with some low carb potatoes. They're really good. It's a very filling meal. But then dinner's always whatever's been cooked, basically. And I guess I've always resisted needing to cook, but I think the best way to take like full control and accountability of your diet is basically to cook and measure your own foods, so you know exactly what you're putting in, and then you only have yourself to blame for lack of progress. You know, lots of comments on other people's videos of journeys, they all say the same thing: you can't out-train a bad diet. And yes, there are other factors like predispositions, the way that our body reacts, our metabolism and all that stuff, but it also just comes down to that real simple equation of calorie. Are you in a calorie surplus or in a calorie deficit? And a big part of that is obviously physical activity. You know, that's the calorie burn, and then the calorie consumption. Are you burning more than you're putting in your mouth? And maybe your engine is not working as well, i.e. your metabolism. Maybe you're not eating that much, but your metabolism is just caca, it doesn't work that well. So anyway, I thought I'd just do a quick video. It was quite a heavy lunch, so I've just felt like going for a little walk around the neighbourhood, try to start the process of burning a tiny portion of what I just ate and converting as much carbs into energy. To be honest, I felt kind of tired after, and I almost just wanted to have a lie down, but then I thought that's probably the worst thing that I can do, and the better thing I can do is get out in the sun, go for a little walk, a little stroll around the neighbourhood, you know, 10-15 minutes, 20 minutes or so. Just go for a little stroll, get some sun. You know, it's good for the mental clarity as well. Just get outside of the house. spend a bit of time by yourself reflecting on the day, how the day is going, the week, and try to refocus and recommit to, you know, what's the end goal of all this. The end goal of all of this obviously is to live a healthy life, and the byproduct of that would be to lose fat and build muscle. Building muscle is obviously the more important part, because the more muscle mass you have, the easier it is to burn, because muscle needs energy. And I think the problem I'm starting to notice, because I've taken almost like a month break from the gym, is you start to lose strength, and I guess your muscles start to atrophy, if that's the right term. So you have to be pretty diligent with maintenance and conditioning and balance of cardio. And I kind of messed up today again. After the workout, I forgot to get some protein in after the 30 minutes. I've heard somewhere, I don't know if it's true, but I heard somewhere that 30 minutes after a workout you should get some protein to kind of, I guess it was to like repair the damage. Because my understanding of the way muscles work and the body repairs and grow, and cellular repair and growth and whatnot, is you have to break the muscle, break, strain, put under stress the muscle fibers, and then there's a period of growth and adjustment to that new stimulus, and then as a result you feed the muscle so the muscle can grow and expand, and then with that naturally you get stronger, and it like reinforces the circle of train, repair. Kia ora, it's Nate. Just decided to come out for a walk, another walk at Totara. It's just sunset. It's just past after 5, and come out for a walk. I was lying in bed and just having a rest, and then I thought to myself, I should probably go for a walk. So drove here, traffic's pretty busy. It's pretty cold, but it's kind of nice just to be out here, quiet, contemplate things, reflect. Kind of got some bad news walking up here as well, about a job that I applied for. It's not going ahead, which is a little bit annoying, because the feedback wasn't that helpful, and kind of just puts me in question with what the best move is going forward. But yeah, I'm out here in terms of energy wise. Energy's okay. Food wise, pretty hungry, so I'll go home and have a feed. Haven't really eaten too much, so I did have takeaways, but I feel like I've worked quite a bit of that off. So you'll go home, have some food, and then start winding up the rest of the day. Might try and do some study and do some other bits and pieces. But yeah, that's enough for now. I might touch base with you later and do like a recap of the day. Cheers. What's up? It's Nate. Figured I'll just record a quick evening video while I'm waiting for my fiance. Let me turn that down. So I was just having a conversation on the way here with myself, like I'm sure we all do in different ways. And one of the things that I was talking about was trying to like figure out why do we struggle to lose weight. And I think, you know, a possible answer is because of I haven't come up with an answer, but a possible answer is identities that we sort of latch onto and hold on to, that ultimately don't serve us, don't benefit us, but for some reason we seem to struggle to really disassociate ourselves with it. Maybe like for me personally, growing up, I've always been a big kid. I was like a 9-pound baby, which is pretty big. I know it's not huge, like I've heard of some 10 plus 12-pound babies, which are massive, and that doesn't necessarily what would the word predict, like that they're going to be overweight. But I was always a big kid, compared to my brother. Like if you saw my brother and I standing next to each other, you would not know that I was 4 years younger than him. One, because of our size difference, and two, because of our traits. Like I just look older than him. I look older, I'm taller, I'm bigger, I look more aged. Like he has a baby face, he struggles to grow facial hair. I don't grow the best facial hair, admittedly. My beard's a bit patchy. I've been trying to grow it for ages, but that's an aside. But it's sort of an identity that I've grown up with, was that I'm just a big person. And probably like many of you who are struggling with losing weight, is that you've become, you've spent your entire life being big for some reason. Maybe you were born that way, maybe it's just something that's been very difficult to sort of eradicate from your immediate environment. Maybe you have predisposed dispositions, conditions that sort of exacerbate and make it really hard for you to lose weight. But all of that aside, I have lost weight in the past. I have been smaller. It is possible. It is incredibly hard. And sometimes, like if we're brutally honest with ourselves, I think we also just make it really hard for ourselves, because we continue, day after day, week, month, year after year, we just continue breaking promises to ourselves. So, we never hold ourselves accountable. We never follow through with certain things. I'm saying we because obviously I do it too. And it's a real confronting thing, because it's hard. I was thinking about it on the way here, like this being big affects your entire life. It affects your relationships, it affects your self-esteem, your confidence. Like I've never been a very confident person. I grew up very shy. I had to go to Toastmasters and devote 5 years to public speaking, just to develop some confidence to be able to speak a certain way and articulate. I was always pretty talented, apparently, and I had a gift to connect and talk to people, but I was always shy. And even now, I'm still a shy, nervous kind of person. But there's these like personas, these identities that we keep attaching to ourselves, and the more that we reinforce it, the harder it is to detach ourselves from. So losing weight isn't just a physical process. If you understand anything about the Māori framework, Te Whare Tapa, if you haven't heard it before, Te Whare Tapa translates into the four-sided house, and it basically suggests that health from a Māori perspective is four-dimensional. It's not just about the physical health. You have Te Whare Tinana, which is the physical well-being. You have Te Whare Hinengaro, which is like your mental health. Te Whare Wairua, which is spiritual health. And Te Whare Whānau, which is around like family and social relationships. So these are all aspects of your health. And to lose weight, you really need all of them to be strong. It's not just about diet. Yes, that's a very crucial part. Exercise is also very crucial, but there are other things that you could argue as physical, like hydration, resting, getting a good sleep. But then there's also the mental aspects, like your identity, who you think you believe yourself to be. and who you reinforce yourself to be. Then there's the spiritual side, which is probably a little bit hard to quantify in a health sense for yourself. Maybe it's like your connection with your sort of ancestors or who you think you are. And then the social aspect is like who is your surroundings, who's your family, what was your childhood like, all of those things. All of that contributes to the person that you are today, and probably has a huge part to do, in the family sense. Maybe your parents told you a certain thing. Like I know in my childhood, I grew up and I was just reinforced over and over that I was a big kid, and that was just the way it is. I was reinforced that the reason that was the case was because when my brother was born, he was born skinny. He struggles to gain weight, to put on fat. He also struggles to put on muscle, so I think he's like the endomorph, ectomorph, I can't remember. And then when I was born, my mother was like eating takeaways all the time. Apparently, I don't know. Of course, I don't know. But that was kind of the thing. Like, that's the reason why he's skinny and you're fat. It's because she was fat when she had me. Whether or not that's legitimate, I'm not here to say that's the case, but that did play a big part in my childhood identity. And then, certain things were reinforced by my dad, saying things like, oh, you're never going to get below a certain weight, you're always going to be, big, and, the BMI scale, that's for Europeans and doesn't apply to us Pacific people. And, when your dad tells you something as a son, we all long for our father's, acceptance, approval, so we kind of hang on to every word. Maybe some of you don't, but me and my brother certainly did. And it's kind of hard not to take on some of those identities, especially when it comes from your own family. Sometimes your own family are just sabotaging you in just a toxic environment. Of course, it's hard to imagine a world where you don't have that, but sometimes the harsh realities of life is that maybe your situation is the cause of why you are the way you are. If you believe in the nature versus nurture concept, psychology, maybe it's the way that you were nurtured growing up, or maybe it's the nature in terms of the environment that you exist, the people that you hang around. Like, there's so many interconnected themes that are so important. Like, it's not just one vector, one dimension. It's all encompassing. So to kind of suggest, that it's easy and simple. Some of it is simple, but it's also just not easy. Maybe I'm just bullshitting. I don't know. This is all just raw and unedited, but I thought, while I'm waiting, let me just record something. There's a lot of thoughts in my mind at the moment in this realm of weight loss, and I guess me as an individual, I'm just trying to understand, why is it so freaking hard? Why is it so freaking hard to just keep your word? Like, surely I'm not the only person. Surely many of you, if any of you watch this and have made it this far, like, surely you've all tried. Like, you want to be healthy, you want to lose weight, you want to do all the things. You don't want to live this particular life anymore, but you just feel stuck. And I guess I'm here to say, you're not alone. You're not alone. Part of the reason why I'm doing this is also, one, for myself, to keep myself accountable, but also the reason why I'm keeping these things like unedited and raw is just to kind of encourage and show the journey. I think that's a lot of the times when we see people's highlight reels, we don't actually get to see like all of the shitty stuff, all of the struggle. Sometimes we do, and that's what makes it so captivating, is because we can connect with something there. And my hope is that through all of the rubbish, I'm calling it rubbish because it's just probably going to be very difficult to watch, like the whole thing, because I tend to, as you probably can tell, sometimes I can ramble and sometimes I don't know what I'm saying. I just have a lot on my mind at the moment, and I don't even know if I'm gonna use this bit of footage because it's getting pretty long. And one thing I've been noticing about these videos, like I think I'm currently trying to upload day 6. Today is day 7 or 8, but I'm trying to upload or edit day 6, and that's got 6 clips, and that thing has, like, I'm not kidding, that has taken all day to process. So I don't want to be doing these hugely long videos. One, they're not that enjoyable. I mean, it gives you like a lot of insight into who I am and how I think, which might be of value to some, but it's just really difficult to upload. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. If you took anything of value out of that 12-minute monologue, great. I guess I'm just trying to figure out, why is it so hard? Like, this is not the first time that I've done this. This is the first time I've done this. This is the first time I've committed to a year daily ambitious goal, like recording a video every single day for a year, when I've never done it before, and making it public in YouTube for the whole world to see, or nobody to see. That takes a lot of courage. Call it courage. So I'm trying. I'm certainly trying, but I'm also noticing every day I'm still doing things that are like holding me back. Like, for example, I think I mentioned it in a previous video, like I want to get up early. I didn't get up early, or earlier I should say. I'm getting up. I could get up earlier, let's just put it that way. I could get up earlier. I could not eat takeaways, but again, it's hard when the environment, fiance doesn't want to cook, which is fine, understandable. I don't cook, which is okay, that's a problem. Again, it comes down to like multiple things, and life is just hard for a lot of us. I'm a very detailed oriented person, so I like the idea of having like a nice organized calendar, but at the same time, the rigidity of the calendar, like from 12 to 12:30, I said I was going to do arbitrarily 5 days ago task X. It's now 12 o'clock. I now have 30 minutes to do task X. I don't want to do task X. You know what I mean? It's like, oh. And sometimes you don't even know what you're planning, so you just throw shit into the daily calendar to kind of make yourself feel like, oh yeah, I'm going to be busy, I'm going to be productive. And then the day comes and the time comes and you're just like, nah, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do something else. So, I mean, yeah. That's kind of one of the main goals of this whole series, is just to show the journey, raw and unedited, for me to be accountable to myself, to my word, for a change for an entire year. It's interesting because I kind of started with like, I can always change my mind, but the more I do it, it's like, no, I'm reinforcing this new belief, this new self of integrity and staying true to my word. And if I say I'm going to do something, then I just make sure that I do it. So, I mean, it's early days. I could completely change my mind. You know, I'm only at like day 6 or 7 or 8. I can't see what the future holds. I always try to be very positive because I believe in manifestation, in the sense that, you know, if you have a choice to be positive or negative, I would rather choose to be positive. And if I choose to be positive, I also believe that the universe has a way of attracting things to certain people. Like, you might look from the outside and say, oh, that person's really lucky. But is it luck? Or did they will it into existence? You know, because there is how do I say this? There is without a doubt a higher power at play, depending on what you believe. I never grew up particularly religious. I think I've always been spiritual. In my head, spiritual and religion are two different things. That could be, you know, you might have a different opinion. But I believe that there's a higher power. I believe in spirituality. You know, being Māori, a lot of our customs and cultures, and being on the marae, you know, we have like words like ihi and wehi and mana, and it's kind of like when you're in that environment, you can kind of like feel might be the wrong word. You can maybe sense that there are other forces around. You know, when you observe the haka, you know, it just creates like an energy. When you participate in certain things like whai kōrero, or you do, you know, just like ancient practices, you can just feel things are a little bit different. So there is energy, and there's lots of other cultures that believe in similar concepts, like I guess you could call energy like chi, you know. I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan, so when I think of chi, I also think of like ki, like your energy, your power. So, you know, I think it's all connected. I think that energy is all connected. Anyway, this is just getting out of control. This is now 18 minutes. It's either going to be a really long video if I use this clip, or I'm not going to use it at all. So I'm going to stop right there because I'm still waiting. All right. Yo, it's me again. I figured I would just do a quick recording just to sign off the video for once, because I'm still waiting, and I was just watching the recording that I did, and I realized that it ended a little bit abruptly, so I just wanted to do a proper ending. I never really thought about ending the videos. They have just ended abruptly. Sometimes I would say that I was going to do something and then I didn't do that part. So yeah, I mean, I can only imagine that these are like a nightmare to follow if you are watching these. Like, I don't know who you are or where you are in the world, but if you are watching these and you're making it all the way through all of the rubbish, yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm so grateful. In a sense, I don't know how to say this, but like, even though I'm not doing it initially for you, I am doing it for you. It probably doesn't make sense at all. Like, I initially started doing these videos, and I'm going to continue doing these videos for myself, to keep myself accountable, because I want to achieve this very ambitious goal. Like, there's a whakatauki Māori proverb, and I should memorize it by now, but I can't. But it's like, whai ai te kahurangi, he maunga teitei. There might be some words that I'm missing, but it translates to I can't remember the exact translation, but the basic the basic premise is like seek for a very ambitious goal. So sort of like aim for the stars, and should you fail, let it be to a lofty mountain. And it basically just is like aim high. So, you know, aim for the moon, and if you don't reach the moon, then, you know, maybe you reach a mountain or something. But I guess that's the core of this goal, is to set a lofty goal. I mean, a daily thing for a year is maybe not that impressive. You know, it's certainly not as impressive as people who did like, what did he do? He did a daily he created a graphical content, published it to his Instagram or something for 10 years, or he's continued doing it. I bought his book. He's got like, I think he has 10,000 or something. I can't remember what he called it. It's like his daily something. But it's certainly not as impressive as that. Like, if somebody has been doing daily anything public, creating content, that's huge props. Like, I firmly believe there are two types of people in the world. There are consumers and there are creators. We all swing mostly to one particular side, and if we're honest with ourselves, we will be able to identify where we swing, or maybe not the best choice of word, but where we tend to fall. And I think a lot of us are consumers when really we want to be creators, like to live the kind of life that we want. You don't get the kind of life, you don't get the dream life by consuming. Well, actually, maybe partly. Consuming for the attempt of creation, yes. Consumption in that sense is vital, because in order to create you must learn, and in order to learn you must consume. Whether that's consumption of resources like fuel, energy, in order to create, like muscles, for example, or consuming content to learn a skill in order to create a product. So there is like a, what's the word? There's a relationship, there's a synergy between creation and consumption. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that I've always been a consumer of content, and I've always wanted to create content in the public sense. Like, I know that we create content for our jobs, but we don't own that stuff. That's the annoying thing that I realized when I was made redundant and I lost my job. Everything that I made belongs to the company that I work for. It's their intellectual. I signed a contract. We sign contracts. When you sign the contract, you're giving away your right to the stuff that you build or create and work, depending on the work that you do, of course. So, like, for me and the kind of work that I do, it's almost impossible for me to have a portfolio, because my entire portfolio existed in the company, and now I don't work with the company. I don't work for the company. I have no portfolio. So when I'm applying to different jobs, which I'm doing at the moment, like, I want a public website. I do have a domain for my name, and I am working on a website for myself. But like, a lot of the work that I've done, a lot of the projects and sites that I've built, like on SharePoint, it's all company, it's all internal, it's all intranet stuff. So, you know, it's intellectual property, it's owned by the company, it's my work, but because I'm paid by them and I signed a contract, technically it belongs to them. So, I mean, that's really annoying. I could have that completely wrong. I wouldn't be surprised. But it sucks. It sucks to not own your own content. Let me just put it that way. Which I think we know just by observing, you know, like artists, you know, somebody who made it very popular, sort of the music industry, if you follow the history of that, like Prince, he changed his name, right? The former artist known as Prince. because he wanted to own all of his, he realized he wanted to own all of his music. And Michael Jackson kind of famously declared that he was, or was it Sony was unhappy with him because he was basically trying to become his own, he was trying to do what Prince was doing. I didn't follow it exactly, but that's kind of what I understood happened. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling a bit again. I'm really just waiting. I mean, it's taking ages. It's almost been like an hour, and I'm still waiting for my fiance. Yesterday when I picked her up, she finished when I came, so that's why I wasn't anticipating to be here this long. But anyway, back to the video. So what I was talking about, I wanted to close the video off properly. But I guess, yeah, the importance of these videos, of this content, is a sort of multiple purpose. You know, myself, accountability, viewers, the audience, you, to show you and to demonstrate to you on a daily basis, like, follow along. I don't know, skip certain parts and just follow along to the journey and go, oh, this person, this Nathan guy in New Zealand, he's bloody struggling just like me. Okay, cool, I'm not alone. Like, I want this to serve as positive, reinforcing, supportive. I mean, some days it's going to be pretty tough, don't get me wrong. It kind of seems like every day is tough, but it also depends on your mindset. And if your mindset is positive, then you can achieve anything. And saying that, watching somebody else live their life is not the best thing to do. So if you are watching these videos, and you might be watching other content creators' videos and kind of watching them, just be very careful. Don't get hooked into this sort of vicious trap of just watching other people live their lives. You need to live your life too. You need to live your life. We are all the main characters in our stories, and you're the main character. Stop playing games, stop mucking around, stop breaking promises to yourself. And if you are going to play a game, play the game of life. And if you are going to level up a character, level up your character. You are the main character. This is your game. And I mean that. Like, I'm trying to do the very same thing. Like, trust me, I'm a gamer. I love games. I grew up playing games. I love adventure games. Gamification is a big thing to me. I understand it. I appreciate it. And it's easy, you know, if you don't like your life, you just distract yourself. And now recently, because I've been recording this to keep myself accountable, every time that I lie down and I think about doing something that's not productive, I go to myself, well, what am I doing here? Am I, you know, is like scrolling through YouTube and just kind of like overloading myself with endorphins, is the right word? You know, is that really good for me? Probably not. Definitely not. I could be doing things more productive. I could be resting. Like, sometimes we live in a modern age where there's just distractions and information everywhere. Like, people just can't get off their phones. Like, it's okay to just be in silence with your thoughts, alone, thinking, reflecting. Like, think about to our ancestors years ago, before cell phones, before technology. We were just alone, and we were fine. And times were much harder than they are now. So there is a lot of strength in humanity. There is a lot of strength in you and us. And we just need to be content with that. So, yeah. I just wanted to have a proper chance to, you know, if anybody out there is watching these videos, does make it all the way to the end, I'm doing this for you. If that means anything, I'm doing it for you. I'm gonna try and make these videos a lot easier to follow. I have thought about the format. I've talked about it multiple times. I'm just trying to find the right balance. From a practical sense, if I look at it, I think, okay, practically speaking, there are three phases to the day. There's the morning, the middle, oops, sorry. I'm not giving this finger. So there's three things. There's the morning, the middle, and then the end. And that's a typical story structure, basic structure. Beginning, middle, end. And that's kind of what I want to do. But I find myself doing like, video in the morning, on the way to the gym, video after the gym, video having a snack, video having a lunch walk, and then I end up with like 6 clips. So I don't want to do that because that's just a lot of work. So I need to figure out, and it'll like I said before, it'll take me a couple of days. It'll take me a bit of time to develop like a real smooth system that's efficient and doesn't take too much of my time, ends up with a decent sort of length video to get enough of the sense. And then, you know, from time to time, sure, maybe there is a need for slightly longer format, but for now, that's my goal. I would love to sort of consistently be able to get out like a 12-minute video, or close to 10. I know that YouTube responds to watch time, so having longer videos can be a good thing. That's not really an immediate goal though. I'm just trying to develop my craft and figure out how I want to do this by myself. If in the future this gets scaled up and I get somebody to help me, then that's a different thing. I'll get somebody to sort out all the editing. You know, I'm just thinking like, the poor person that has to go through this and edit, you know, not now, I mean like in the future. I gotta pay them well to do that, or maybe just give them an opportunity. But yeah, anyway, again, rambling. You'll get used to it, maybe. Hopefully I don't keep doing this. But yeah, from the bottom of my heart, if anyone has made it this far, leave a comment. You know, all that stuff that people say, I'm not really at that point. I'm still sort of figuring stuff out, and I promise I will do my best to make these more formulated, more, I was going to say more better, but that's not good grammar or good English. Just more, it's better quality, more entertaining, more concise, more effective. All right, that's enough for me. Signing out. Thank you for watching the video, and I will catch you tomorrow. Ka kite anō.